Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dolmans. Today, we're going sailing for the first time. If you're new here, hi. We're Grace and Luka, the Dolmans. We are underwater filmmakers and squirrels, which basically means we hold our breath, dive over 100 feet to the bottom of the ocean to catch dinner, and film everything. We want to live in a way that's simple, intentional, and free. Sailing allows us to move with the weather, not against it. Reading conditions, following seasons, and letting nature dictate our path across the globe. It's not just about travel, it's about self-sufficiency. Catching our own food, generating our own power, and living with only what we truly need. In the most remote corners of the world, we're building a life centered around exploration, resilience, and connection. To the ocean, to each other, and to a slower, more honest way of living.
Not just sailing for the first time, we're going in a sailboat race. One of our good friends, he invited us on his 42-foot monohull and we're going sailing. It's a little regatta today. We're gonna be trying to do this as much as we can, learning so much. And everyone we kind of talked to said the best way to learn is throw yourself in the theoretical, throw yourself in the deep end and have a blast and get yelled at, drink some rum, and have the best time ever. So we're gonna head down to the marina right now and get our asses handed to us. I'm the grinder. So I'm gonna be trimming the sails and Grace is gonna be the
squirrel.
She's gonna be the squirrel, which is
Getting the kite down.
getting the spinnaker down into the hatch because we gotta go fast. This is a race. This is definitely not like cruising. We're gonna be tacking and jibing like 4 to 5 times each way, I believe. I can't remember, but we're gonna figure it out. Let's go.
See you out there. Look at that. Yeah. Just not a drop of wind.
We're going sailing now. Apparently.
So, context. We're buying a sailboat. We have never sailed a sailboat.
Let's just clear the record quickly. We've been on sailboats. We've been on them. Standing, fishing, lots of fishing. That's pretty much the full extent of our sailing resume.
And someone, I still don't know who suggested this,
I suggested it.
someone suggested that the best way to learn was to sign up as crew on a racing boat. Not a lesson, not a sunset cruise, a regatta. With a start line and a finish line and 15 other boats who actually know what they're doing.
In my defense, I read that racing is the fastest way to learn. You make more maneuvers in a single race than in a month of casual sailing. The learning curve is nearly vertical.
So is a learning cliff, which is what this was.
We showed up at the dock and immediately realized that every other person there had been doing this for years. They had their own gloves, they had their own fancy sailing shoes. They spoke a language that was technically English, but contained no words I recognized. Someone yelled, "We'll jibe at the leeward mark on port," and I nodded like I knew exactly what that meant.
I was assigned to the foredeck, the bow, the front of the boat, specifically the spinnaker, more specifically, the squirrel.
They called her the squirrel.
I didn't ask why yet, but I should have.
The start of a sailboat race is not calm. 15 boats are trying to cross the same imaginary line at the same second, going fast as they can, and somehow none of them are supposed to hit each other. It's like a highway merge at full speed, except everyone's shouting, and half of them are on the wrong side. By the third tack, I started understanding the timing. There's a rhythm to it. Ease the old sheet, cross to the new side, load the new sheet, grind hard for 5 or 6 cranks until the trimmer yells stop. It's about a 3-second window and everything has to happen inside of that. Too early and you dump the sail before the boat is through the wind, and too late, the sail's flogging, and every second it flogs the speed you're giving to the boat ahead of you. By the 5th tack, my forearms and back were cooked. By the 8th, I couldn't feel them at all. By the 10th, and I need you guys to understand this, I was having the absolute best time of my entire life.
I could see him from the bow. Every tack he'd come up from the grinder with this look on his face like he'd just been hit by a wave and a revelation at the same time. He looked exactly like he looks after landing a big fish, exhausted, but completely alive.
The thing about grinding is that it's the most physical job in the boat, but it's also the most direct connection to the sail. You can literally feel the wind through the winch. When the trim is right, the load stabilizes. When it's wrong, the handle fights you. You're not looking at instruments, you're feeling the boat through your hands. And for someone who has spent years reading the ocean through a spear gun, that made sense to me almost immediately.
Sorry to interrupt the sailing. As many of you guys know, me and Luka are saving up for our own sailboat one day. One of the ways we're doing that is by selling my prints. All my photographs were taken on a single breath. This particular photo is one of my favorite moments that I've had underwater. The link will be in the description below. Photography is my way of showing my appreciation and love for the ocean and the underwater world, and it's my goal to share that all with you guys. All right, enough of this photo talk. Let's get you back to Luka getting yelled at by the captain. Okay, the squirrel. Let me explain why they call it the squirrel. A spinnaker is the big, colorful parachute-looking sail that goes up in the front when the wind is behind you. It's enormous. On this boat, it was probably 800 square feet of nylon. And when you need to take it down, when the skipper calls for a douse, the foredeck crew has to guide this massive sail through a hatch in the deck that's about 2 feet wide. You're basically stuffing a king-size bedsheet through a mail slot while the wind is trying to rip it out of your hands. And the boat is doing 8 knots and the entire race depends on you not dropping it in the water. They call it a squirrel because you look like a squirrel pulling a parachute into a hole. It is exactly as graceful as it sounds. The first drop, and it's just all-out war.
She was incredible.
I was covered in spinnaker and seawater, and I had no idea where I was on the boat.
She was incredible and disorientated. Both things were true.
Go up there? But the set, when the spinnaker goes up, that's the moment I understood why people do this. You pull the halyard and this enormous sail unfurls above you and it catches the wind and the boat just launches. The acceleration is physical. You feel it in your legs. And I'm standing on the very front of this boat. The bow lifting over the swell. And above me is this wall of color pulling us forward, and I thought, oh, this is sailing. This is what the boat does when you let it go.
There's a moment in every race, and apparently in every sport and every skill and everything I've ever done, where the thinking stops and the doing starts. Gybe 12. Grace is already moving before the call comes. I'm grinding before the old sheet is fully eased. The trimmer doesn't have to tell me to stop because I can feel the sail load up through the handle. We're not thinking about it anymore. We're just doing it.
By the back half of the race, the skipper stopped explaining things and started just calling the maneuvers like we'd been there before. And I know that sounds small, but when someone who's raced for 20 years treats you like crew, not guests, not beginners, crew, that's the moment you realize you actually might belong on a boat.
We have no clue where we finished. It's a handicap system that I'm not 100% sure on how it works. We got a horn though, so that's something, I guess.
Someone asked us afterward if we still want to buy a catamaran, sail around the world. And I think we both laughed, because the question landed differently after that day.
Before the race, buying a boat was a plan. Something we were saving for. A number on a spreadsheet.
And after the race, it was a certainty. Not because we learned enough to be ready. We learned enough to know how much we don't know. But the feeling of a boat under sail, responding to you, moving because you made it move, that's the feeling we've been chasing in the ocean our whole lives. We just didn't know it lived above the surface too.
We're going back next week.
We're going back tomorrow if they'll let us.
The catamaran is going to be different from a monohull racer. It won't heel, it won't point as high, it won't have a grinder station.
It'll have a kitchen and a bed and room for a whole lot of spear guns.
Priorities.
Correct priorities.
First time sailing, first time. Try to get it. This is so electric.
We're back from sailing. and
we got our asses
my goodness.
handed to us. Oh my gosh.
We had so much fun. That was both of our first time sailing. We've been on sailboats before, but not actively participating in the sailing part of it. And I think we both fell in love. Like, it was intense
so
and
cool.
crazy, but just to be like fully powered by the wind, like everyone yelling and things flying, lines flying, sails flipping. It was like crazy.
It is
but
so crazy.
it was really fun. We're not sure what place we came in yet.
We don't really know how the scoring works. Apparently it's
By
handicapped
time.
by time, and then
Size.
you get a handicap on your like
boat and
total
stuff.
water length, your displacement, a couple other factors that I don't really know, but it was so cool to learn. We learned so much. Grace and I have both been doing a lot of theory, a lot of reading, but actually getting out there and getting your hands on is definitely what we both needed, and we got it for sure. A lot of these like little things that you kind of pick up on while you're actually doing it was super valuable for us.
We tried to take as many clips as we could.
It was really
but
hard.
We didn't get too much content. We'll definitely be out soon. I think we're gonna start going weekly or at least like monthly,
Yep.
doing some races just to get some experience. And we know it's gonna be so different from cruising, but
The fundamentals will transcend.
yeah, and just getting practice on being on a boat, knowing how tacking works and
How to jibe
all,
and
on the way down.
yeah,
Jiving.
how to jibe and how to manage the lines and be safe and
All of the different terms. And
yeah, terminology is a big one. Learning the angle of the wind. This boat can point pretty high, which is pretty cool to see. But yeah, what an amazing learning experience, and this is definitely like reinstated the fact that this is where we want our life to go. We just had the most epic time ever. We were on the ride home just smiling the whole time. It was so much fun. Thank you so much, Tim, for letting
Yeah.
a couple of green, never been on a sailboat before tag along. And a pretty intense race, dude. It was pretty intense. I messed it up a couple times and definitely wasn't making the team too happy, but we learned.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Look forward to next week's video.
Yeah.
We are going on a very cool adventure, and you guys will see that soon. Thank you so much.
And we will see you guys
Next
soon.
time on the Dolmans.
This ad requires a little bit of setup.
Selling my prints. This particular photo was taken on a single breath while freediving with so.
Yeah. Okay, go.
To the beginning.
Action.
Stop.
Action.
Alright, prints. I have a lot of different options. The link will be in the description below. Anything. I have many different sizes.